military vests. One of the things I was talking about with some guys the other day, we were coming in from hunting and they had started to ask me about Afghanistan and all this stuff, what I thought. And I was like, hey man, like when we're in country and you're on a fob or something like that, man, especially in a hot area where you're picking up all sorts of, enemy arms for lack of a better,
Yeah.
you have stashes and caches and all this kind of stuff. And honestly, sometimes you're around places that have bunkers full of weapons, right? And the U.S. military and the EOD will go out and they'll do what's called a shot. So they lay this stuff out in lines and they cover it with C4. And every day, right around 1700, man, you get this shockwave in your chest. Right before you get this gigantic boom somewhere, off base, and hopefully you're not downwind from it, so you're not breathing that shit in. But most of the time you are, right? Maybe just one more reason people don't want to get vaccinated. But at any rate, like when we left, what a little bit of C4 and, I don't know, $2 trillion worth of shit that we left over there. It's just like, this was gift wrapped. I mean, you see the pictures of it and you're like, man, it's sitting out on blankets. It's sitting out on tarps. These things had the keys in them. They were gassed up, ready to roll for these guys. And it's just like, man, here's your prize for letting us be here for 20 years. Pretty good, amazing fighters. And that's the thing is, guys who live in mud huts who are tired of being tired, in the long run, they won. They beat Russia, and now they've beat the U.S., and they made a deal, and people left their shit there.
And here's why. And at least from my understanding of it, being that I'm a historian, I look at basically Afghanistan and every country that's ever had a similar problem. Whenever you put we've destroyed ISIS pretty efficiently, but the difference between what we did with ISIS versus what we did with Al-Qaeda, because remember, that was the original enemy, not the Taliban. Al-Qaeda, and after September 11th, which don't get me involved in that. But my point is, those people in Afghanistan, they don't give a shit if it's an Abrams tank or a T-72. They see an occupying army, they're going to immediately join the very radicals that we're trying to destroy and then leave. As soon as we started putting all those troops there on the ground and started patrolling their streets, they looked at us not as liberators, but as an occupying force. It doesn't matter whether we were right or wrong. That's just how they're going to look at it because they've already dealt with this shit 20, 30 years ago with the Soviets.
Yeah.
And what you did is you just made more radicals. You made more extremists, you made more diehard, and then you got stupid decisions just like here recently where, we're going to get revenge on ISIS and blow up a bunch of children and women, dropping a bomb on the wrong place. And just like Joe Biden here recently, those K-bombers, they never found them. They blew up the wrong people and killed a whole bunch of civilians. Well, you just made more extremists because I guarantee the father who just lost his wife and children, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to join ISIS because he wants revenge. So every single person that ever got killed in the crossfire, they're going to fight the United States. And it becomes a situation where you're just never going to win. You're either going to make it to where you fight on forever, or you literally wipe them off the face of the earth completely, all in one move. And unfortunately, you can't do that with an insurrection.
Yeah, and the thing is, we can't fight forever either. And that's what I think that's really what we've seen here, right? Is like the United States is done. Like in terms of economic meltdown, we're there. And those guys bled us dry, just like they bled the Soviet Union dry. And it's just,
we couldn't afford the war any longer anyway.
We couldn't afford it when we started it, but that you're right. Yeah. I mean, this is where we're at.